I'm Anandharamakrishnan, scientist working with the chemical engineering principle to make a future of the food that is also good food. As per the statement from the United Nations, future of the world depends on the good food. Good food makes you healthy, drives the economy, and it saves our planet. But not everyone gets the good food. If you look at the whole world, 1 billion population goes with the hunger every day. 2 billion populations are not able to access to the nutritious food. That is the reflection of this. If you look at double and triple burden of malnutrition, one is that in India, stunting and anemia is continuously prevailing. If I take the blood sample of everyone here, I am very much sure 30 to 40% is anemic. In India, average itself is around 50%, especially on the women and children. Men's are around 25% anemic. If you go for the other countries, burden of the obesity and the weight. If you look at 2 billion population is obese in throughout the globe. See that our average age of India is 72 years now. We moved very well. But look at some countries, they live more than 80 years. Example, Japan, Australia, US, or England. But some nations, they live less than 55 years. Why it is? The lifestyle, the food, the availability of a nutrition decides on that. Hence, food sustainability is the matter of concern. We need to think how best we can give the nutritious food and availability of the nutrition. Everyone needed protein. The proteins important for our muscles and body building. But how much protein we are taking? Right now, almost 1 billion population has the protein deficiency. If you look at here, one egg has almost 6 to 7 gram of protein. We need at the about 50 kg weight is there, we need a 40 gram of protein. Are we taken? If you look at yesterday, whatever you have taken, put it in the papers, you know that we are not taking adequate proteins. And then new technologies, another end. People wanted now enjoy the food. For example, sonic enhanced food. When they eat the fish, they want to see so sound in the food itself. How to create that one. And artificial intelligence, machine learning help us to move on another way of looking at the food itself. As per the Paris Agreement, we need to make sure 2050 net zero, 2030 45% reduction in the carbon dioxide emission or green gas emission. How to do that? Food itself, the whole value chain contributes 26% of the greenhouse gas emissions. We need to look very seriously on this. I did graduation and post graduation at AC Tech Chennai. After that, I moved to the Loughborough University where I did my PhD. There only thought of putting my chemical engineering principle to convert at the food processing operation, various unit operation. We developed the world first spray freeze drying techniques and different operationals we have done there in the Loughborough universities. After that, I joined back to my parent organization CFTRI, Mysore. It is there in the palace. There I started working on the different nano encapsulation techniques to deliver the micronutrient. In CFTRI, and how we use the DHA, EPA, all the technologies to deliver the micronutrient. One such technology what I adopted is green tea. How many of you take green tea regularly? It's good number. You know it is a good. It has the catechins and epicalocatechins, EC, and all are there. But the issue in the green tea catechin is how much is absorbed in your body. When it goes to the intestine, the alkali nature, it's a poor absorption takes place. What I thought is it possible to extract this green tea polyphenols, then makes the nano encapsulates, add back to green tea, then we can give more per cup. For example, per cup 110 milligram of catechins, then you can go for more than 30 to 100 milligram. That's the idea. We use the electrospinning technology to produce the green tea catechins. Even our studies also demonstrated more than 2 times higher absorption takes place. Then I said anemia. How to solve this one? So issue is, except selenium, vitamin E and C, most of the micronutrients absorbs in our body less than 50%. The iron absorbs even less than the 10% in the some of the sources goes for the 20%. But how to enhance this absorption and how to make this into the food system? That's what we develop the artificial rice. It is not artificial, it is the rice only. Once you mill the rice, 31% wastages comes. That powder, we have added iron, folic acid, vitamin, we recreated the rice here. And we did only one thing, small adjustment is the premix. It's a different than others, it looks like a rice. So easily we can reach out our population, almost 65% of our Indian population depends on the rice. That's what we try to create the rice using all these vehicles of the nutrient. 115 million animals are used to test. But is it possible to go for artificial human digestive system? That's what I thought of to doing it. Using the stomach and the intestine, how this food particles moves in our systemic circulation can be replicated. So what I did, I went with the human volunteers, MRI image, every minute 120 image, that means 0.5 seconds you have one image. Then we constructed the 2D image into the 3D image, the 3D printed stomach has been created. Then if you look at what is happening in our stomach, the contraction takes place in the walls of the stomach. That creates a propulse inside the gastric juice that break down your particles, food particles. When particle become a 2 mm size, the pyrolytic opens, wall opens, it comes to the intestine. We exactly recreated the stomach in our institute and can be validated. And we have done the validation method and it's almost matched with the glucose response, what is happening. It gives the glycemic index, particle breakdown, how much absorption in the systemic circulation. All these things we have done. Later I moved to the NIFTM Tanjavur as a director at the young age of 42. But I wanted to have a different approach when I was in the NIFTM. I wanted to develop the food 3D printer. If our house, we have the microwave oven, we have the all the mixie, grind everything. Can we have one printer to print the food matrix, whatever the kids like? Kids like some of the cartoon shape or the number shape can be printable. That's what we try to create it from the food matrix using the protein fiber called the food ink. Even rice, starch, we develop the food 3D printed matrix. You can see the very nicely is printed. But only thing you have to look into that, how to make this matrix the printable form. And even we have done with the high amount of the protein, 10% and 17% fiber, we could able to print and you get the snacks. But the post processing is very much important. We use the microwave processing technology to get clear on the original level of the printing. That's what we achieved this type of snack. Look at the whole globe. The temperature is continuously rising. Last year, 2023, is the highest temperature what we recorded, 1.18 degree temperature. After post era of industry era, it's a continuously rising. We need to keep the temperature less than 1.5 degree temperature. That means if you the replication of the global carbon emission and the temperature of the surface is increasing, that's what floods and storms, everything is happening around us. One thing is how to look into that. The good food, what I said, the carbon emission and greenhouse gas emissions comes 26% from the food alone, all the food chain, including the animals to the food product processing, everything. The livestock contributes 14% of that. Can we switch over? It's possible. If you look at the calories, 9 gram of crop, what you are giving to chicken, it converts only 1 calorie. 9 calories you give is converted only 1 calorie output. That beef, if you look at 40 calories input, is converted into the only 1 calories. So this is the water issue. Can we switch over that? That's what we can go for, the cultivated meat or the artificial meat, because we love to eat meat. We enjoy eating the meat of the higher amount of the protein. Can we recreate that? That's what we could able to develop some of the product. Is the bottom of approach of electrospinning and the 3D printing can create a meat-like structure. It tastes like the meat. Another one is the high moisture extrusion. Again, this mimics the meat. After that, I joined to CSR NIST Trivandrum. It's a wonderful institute with the multidisciplinary scientists are there leading. The team is really fun. One is that how you wanted to do the business in the food, you need to see the customer as the boss. If you think customer as a boss, taste is the key. When any product comes to you, that flavor hits your nose, then immediately your appetite is ready to take the product. Then your eye will go there. Yes, if ice cream or chips or biryani you started enjoying, then touch how you feel it on that. Then you put it the tongue, that sensorial activities goes there and brain will sensitize. Yes, good food is coming, you will try to enjoy. Then texture, if you more fiber, you chew longer in your mouth. That's what we try to map all these things in our institute. For one example is that chips. The chips has this salt. Right now we are taking almost close to 10 gram of salt every day. But WHO is telling only you have to take 5 gram of salt. But once started eating the chips, you never stops that. That's what we try to create a nano salt, because surface area to the volume. If you go to the your tongue, it releases more, so you feel more saltiness is coming. That's what we can reduce 60% of the salt. Another one study with the sensorial aspect is the coffee. For me, every day morning I wanted to drink coffee, that too without milk and with the foam. It's an enjoyable day. If you are not getting such type of coffee, you may not enjoy whole day. But some people don't like the milk. The cappuccino has the milk, with the steaming, you get the foam. But espresso is without foam, very light crema will be created. Can I create the foam on the our espresso coffee? That's what we created in our institute. The coffee foam is created. You are going to the any of the coffee shop, what we had 1 hour you wanted to chat. In front of the coffee should be there. Down is the liquid, top is the air. Coffee should be intact. Correct. That's what we are going and enjoying in the shops. We have created the coffee foams can stay more than 2 hours. Then you can spend more than 2 hours in the coffee. It's a possible to create, but only the science, the surfactant and the foam, how we created, that's the science behind that. If you look at any of the product, finally it comes to the self. More than the product inside, you like the cover. Most of the covers comes from the polymers origin. We need to look into that. All are dumped in the so many areas, the lake and rivers bring into the sea. Right now, 1 ton of the plastic with a 3 ton of the fish in our ocean. It will go to the 1 ton to 1 ton ratio in 2050. And it will come back to you as a microplastic. Right now, per week, you are taking 1 credit card size of the microplastic. In Bombay, 50 microplastics are found in the liter of the water. Recently, report states that in Tamil Nadu, coastal that lakes has the almost 30 to 150 microplastics are there. It will come to our system circulation. So we need to understand how to stop all these things. One thing is sure, every year is matter, every choices are matter. So take a wise choice of good food. It keeps you happy, keep you healthy, save the planet. Thank you so much.